Hi everyone, welcome back to Roots and Wings with Emmanuel Adebayo. Okay, so you remember the episode on Who is Your Mirror?
Yeah.
That's what I want us to talk about.
Okay.
Um, so my first question for you: Who is your own mirror? Is that something you will say you've identified in life?
I think there are different Marys for different circumstances. Our lives are, for lack of a better expression right now, multi-channeled. There are different channels in our lives, and for these different channels, there are different Marys. And sometimes for different periods of our lives, there are also different Marys. The people that were able to propel me, guide me, lead me at a certain stage in my life are not able to do it now. Maybe because I have outgrown the influence they had. It's not like they fizzled out of my life. It's just their influence does not exactly reach where I am anymore. So I would not say that there is a Mary for the entire period of your life. There are some Marys that stick to you for a longer time, longer periods than others, but I think Marys in our lives change as we change, as situation changes, as circumstance changes. So, but yes, all through my life, I have identified different Marys.
Okay, just for some context, for those that have not listened, even though our advice to go back and listen to that episode, just for some context. So the Mary we are talking about is the Mary, the mother of Jesus, at the wedding at Cana, where it was Mary that saw that the wine had finished and informed Jesus, like, "Oh, guy, the wine had finished," and she prompted Jesus at that time to step into a miraculous season when even Jesus's first response was, "Woman, my time has not yet come." So I talked about that in that episode about people that prompt us to do great things, people that can identify things in ourselves that even we don't see when we are not even thinking about it. People that see job opportunities and they go, "Oh, you can do this thing. You are able, you have the capacity to do this." So that's the context we are looking at Mary from. Okay, so back to you. Oh, there's something you want to say. You look like
No,
there's something in your mind.
no, not at all.
Okay, so another question for you is, how do you identify these people? Like on your journey in life, how do you pick, okay, this is what this person is doing in my life, and this is who this person is for me?
I think the easiest way to identify people is, from the top of my head, I'll say two things right now. The first thing is to know yourself, know where you're going, know what you want to do, know what you want to achieve, know about yourself, know the state where you are, the stage where you are, and be honest with yourself. And the second thing is being open to people. I think sometimes we're so afraid of getting hurt. We're so afraid of having people in our lives, if that makes sense. And sometimes I think we were, especially for some of us that grew up in certain areas, we were raised to be secretive.
To have a wall.
To have a wall around us. Everything about us is secret. You're not open to telling people. I'm not saying stand on the street and announce your life to people, but sometimes the best way to identify great people in your life is being open. The people I have identified in my life and God has used to bless me have been people I was open enough with, people I let my guard down with, people that I was vulnerable with. That's the word I'm trying to remember. People I was vulnerable with. I think that's one way to identify, because the truth is, I may have things to share with you, but especially in the world we live in these days, where everybody is so focused on do it yourself. Everyone is so focused on selfie. Everyone is so focused on me and I. It's difficult for people to even reach out. When I see something about you that I think, this person needs to change, this person needs to work on, I find it difficult to reach out to you, because I don't feel like you have put me in that place
space
to reach out to you. So for people to bless me, I need to put them in a space where they can bless me. I need to identify them and give them that open door, leave that door open for them, such that they can walk in at any point and say hi and share and scold where necessary. I need to keep that door open for them because they want to pull the door down. And in situations where people have pulled down the wall and tried to reach us, most times we recoil and walk away from those people. If someone tries to force their way into your life, most times we walk away, which in a sense is a natural reaction. If you haven't let someone a room in your life and they want to force themselves on you, you're going to walk away and recoil from that relationship. So a way to find people in your life that would actually bless you, that would actually reach out to you, that would actually help you, is to open the door to them. You have to be the one to invite them in.
So how do you balance that access and people not trying to take over your life? So let me use Mary as an example.
Yeah.
There was that respect after Jesus said, no, it is not yet my time. I think about several other scenarios in which that situation could have gone.
Yeah.
To start with, you call your mother woman. That on its own, it gives the sense of like, remove the relationship, woman. Do you get? Like, that's the way I say it. So it looks like Jesus put that, don't go there. It is not my time. So how do you balance that, someone propelling you in a particular direction of, oh, I think you can do this, but then you just don't feel it is your time? How do you balance that situation?
Okay, so I would rephrase it this way, that sometimes you don't feel like it's your time, you don't feel like it's what you can do, and yet people are able to make you see that this is what you are meant to do. Esther herself did not think that she was fit to be queen. She did not see that she was fit to go to the king and save the children of Israel. Mordecai had to prompt her to do that. So each one of us have people like that in our lives where we don't feel like we can do some things. We don't think, people around us, people that genuinely love us, they see a lot about us more than we see about ourselves, which is why it's good to be surrounded by good people. However, one way to ensure that your life doesn't get run by these same people, because the truth is, at the end of the day, when the chips are down, it's your life.
Yeah.
One way to ensure that is to also know. For example, if I have thought about a direction in life and I have clearly told myself that this is not the way I want to go, and someone tells me, oh, I think this is the way you should go, because it's not new to me, because I am not thinking about it for the first time, I know it is not the way I should go. I know this is not it for me. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but when you're confused, when you're still so uncertain, it becomes very easy for you to be pushed in a certain direction. And that is not, how do I say this? Wait, let me backtrack and start again. That one way to ensure that people don't take over your life is to know. Is to know in the sense that know what you are made of, what you're made for. And the truth is, we never know in full.
I was going to say that, but sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah, I'm coming, graduate. I think a lot of times we're so focused on knowing the future, but we don't know today. We don't know enough of today. We are worried about the future. I think most times you should focus on knowing today. Where I am at this stage in my life, what am I supposed to be doing? And what I feel like that helps us do is, it helps you to have an idea of things around you. It helps you to have an idea of things you want to do. So for example, because let's say I am thinking about politics. I just have politics on my mind. And someone walks up to me and gives me an insight about something that could lead into politics that I had never thought of. But because there is politics on my mind, my heart will resonate with that person. But let's say I'm in, I don't have a better example, but sometimes having things prepared on your heart being able to identify what you have within you. I think a lot of times we are confused because of several reasons, but one chief reason I feel a lot of people are confused is greed, covetousness. We want everything. And so we are asking ourselves, of all the plenty things, which one is the best? Because you want to have everything. So you're looking for, how do I get this and get this at the same time and get that at the same time? But a lot of times, if we can actually just narrow ourselves and focus on one thing at a time, where we are, what we are doing right now, it's easier to handle, because then you know what to move on next. It's one step at a time. The Bible says that the path of a righteous shineth brighter and brighter unto a perfect day. So it's one step at a time. If you turn on a torchlight, you can only see as far as the light goes. But at every step you see clearer. So you may be going straight right now because that's all you can see. But as you continue to move with the torchlight, you notice that there's no road going on. You need to take a detour. But if you stand at this point and you're worried about, should I go straight, should I turn right? You never know.
You never know.
But the good thing about Marys now is sometimes they sit with you and they can counsel you based on what you know right now. But when you don't know anything, it's easy for people to derail you because you are not bringing anything to the table. So they will be counseling you based on what they have in their heart, not what you have in your heart, not what God has placed in your heart. Which brings me back to what I was saying about knowing. The only way to know is to have a good relationship with God. Because the closer we get to God, the more we study our Bibles, the more we spend time with Him, things are impressed on our heart. And as things are impressed on our heart about what we need to do, about who we are, as we have conversations with the Marys around us, these things become clearer because they are able to filter it for us. Take case in point, Samuel. Samuel heard the voice of God, but he didn't know. He needed Eli, who is familiar with God, to distill that voice for him and help him understand. But if Samuel never heard God, Eli would still have been telling him, go back to sleep. He went to Eli the first time, go back to sleep. He went to Eli the second time, go back to sleep. So your Mary, getting the best out of your Mary is dependent on getting the word from God. Because if you don't get the word from God, if you don't know what you're doing, your Mary may actually become your Judas. Because
sorry, I'm cutting you.
Okay.
Don't go into that. Don't go into that. Okay, so there was a word you used the word counsel, like your Mary counseling you. And I think I just want to clear that part of, so a lot of times when you use the word counsel, it's like, oh, a counselor, a mentor, someone bigger. And I choose to see Mary from a perspective of, it can be someone younger than you.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily have to be someone high up there that you're looking up to. Yeah, I just felt the need to point that out.
Yeah, I think, and which is why for me it is important that we are sensitive. See, I don't know. I mean, this red car theory, the moment you think about one red car, you begin to see a lot of cars. And it's the same thing with this. When your heart is focused on something to hear from God, you can hear anywhere. If you are sensitive enough to pick it, if you're sensitive enough to hear it, God can speak to you through a child. I mean, God spoke to Balaam through a donkey. And Jesus said that if you guys keep quiet, the stones will rise up and praise.
Yeah.
So it means God can speak to you through a stone. If all the Marys around you refuse to speak, a stone can become your Mary. My point is, God can speak to us through anything and anyone if we are sensitive enough. But it starts from our relationship with God. Without knowing, without being who God wants us to be, it's going to be, because our Marys are human beings. And they will be largely led. I tell people that come to me for counsel that I can only counsel you firstly based on my experience. I mean, there are times when I hear clearly from God that, oh, this is what this person should do. But majority of the time is based on my exposure, my experience.
Yeah. And that's how you interpret what they're telling you.
That's how I interpret what you tell me. So you have to have a higher interpretation as well. I feel like sometimes when you have heard from God, I mean, everyone will agree with me that when you have heard from God, it is easier to get clarity from men.
Yeah. They help you to
They
shape
help you
it.
to shape it.
Mm-hmm.
They help you to understand, oh, okay, this is it. However, if you've not heard from God and you turn to men first, you will come back more confused than you were, or you are likely to actually take a wrong step.
Rev. Thank you so much. Okay, so another question.
Okay.